Hello everyone, happy Friday. Welcome back to my channel, Sew Yourself Capsule Wardrobe. Today I'm doing a pattern review of the Pattern Emporium Coastal Side Split Skirt. So if that interests you, stay watching. Okay, so last weekend was Easter weekend and I managed to find a few hours for myself to make the Pattern Emporium Coastal Side Split Skirt. It's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? It's the newest pattern from Pattern Emporium. I'm going to put a graphic up here for you. Yeah, so it's the latest pattern. I was desperate to try it, so I found a few hours to make it up, and I did actually make it in an afternoon. So first off, this is the pattern. I was going to put a graphic up in the corner for you, but this is the pattern itself. As you can see, it's called a column skirt, so it's a long straight skirt, and it's got two splits or one split. You can either have one or the other. Sorry, you can either have one split or two splits is what I mean. And I chose to do the skirt with two splits. As always with Pattern Emporium patterns, there's a great deal of variation that you can choose when you make your garment. As you can see from the line drawings here, this is one of the finished skirts you have on offer. You can have pockets or not pockets, as the case may be. I didn't add pockets into mine. I wanted it to be a straight design line rather than having pockets. I'm not a big pocket fan anyway. I don't have to have garments with pockets, so I just didn't put mine on. You can see that there's a choice of a high or a low waist. There's a choice of length between ankle length and midi. And there's a choice of whether you have an elasticated waistband or a yoga waistband. So just for reference, I did the high waist, the midi length rather than the maxi length. I always get mixed in between those two. And I did the yoga waistband. And again, like I said, I didn't put any pockets on. So let me show you my final garment. Here it is. I made it in a viscose chalice that I had in my stash. It's this navy polka dot fabric. I bought it originally from Abercan Fabrics, goodness knows how many years ago, and found it in my stash box, and I thought, fantastic, I'll make the skirt up in that because it really has a good drape. And the waistband is in a matching navy cotton lycra. Again, I had this piece, or a piece of cotton lycra, and a bundle from Night Fabrics, and it was just the right shade to add to the skirt. In addition to the multiple variations that you have in this pattern, there's a good size range as well. The size is range from, the smallest is an Australian size 4 and the largest is an Australian size 30, and these range from 31.5 to 33 inches for the size 4 and from 57 to 58.75 for the size 30. And that is the hip or seat size. Now, as long as your skirt goes over your hips and your bottom, then you can obviously make the waist whichever size you prefer, just by changing the length of elastic that you're using or changing the length of your yoga waistband. I used a size 16 all the way through my pattern, and just for reference, that's the pattern gives 43.25 to 45 inches for the hip and seat for size 16, and I'm a size 44 hip, so that was just right for me. I will of course give the table of sizes in the video down at the bottom here, so you can check for yourselves which size would be suitable for you. As far as fabrics go, the pattern suggests rayon or rayon challis, viscose. I actually used a viscose challis for mine. linen blends, cotton voile, light cotton sateen, seersucker, lawn, flannel, tencel, woven modal, light shirting or double gauze. And if you're doing a yoga waistband like I did, just make sure that you have lycra in the mix so that you have a good stretch and recovery of the waistband. You really are looking for a fabric that drapes nicely because the fabric, the skirt fabric does drape from the waistband itself. It is slightly gathered, as you should be able to see. I hold this up. The skirt is gathered on the waistband, but it doesn't stick out. It actually falls really nicely from the waistband there, and it falls nicely in wear as well. I was a bit concerned that because of my mum tum, my tummy would be really noticeable in the skirt, but in fact the skirt seems to skim over my tummy nicely, and it's quite a good camouflage. Now the pattern is a PDF pattern, as are all Pattern Emporium patterns, but I'm a fan of PDF patterns anyway, so I don't mind printing and sticking together. There are 3 formats, I believe. There's a print at home format, there is an A0 format that you can send off to the printers for printing, or there's a projector file as well if you have a projector set up in your workroom. Now if you decide to go down the print at home PDF version, the pattern is very good. It gives you the pages which you need to print for the different variations. The pattern instructions are very good, very concise and very, very clear, especially the instructions regarding the side split. It was a bit confusing, but looking at the pictures that are given and reading the instructions thoroughly, they are very, very straightforward once you've got the piece of fabric in front of you. So the burning question is, would I make this pattern again? The answer is absolutely definitely. I already have 2 pieces of fabric that I've laundered this week. I showed this fabric last week in last Friday's Fridaysews. It's again viscose challis, it's patterned fabric. And I also realised that I had this plain navy viscose challis in my stash as well, which is very, very drapey and light and will be a fantastic addition. Well, actually both will be fantastic additions to my spring wardrobe. That's all from me this week. I'm off at a cocktail making masterclass tomorrow afternoon in town with my husband, so hopefully I'll be able to piece together a PDF after printing it out, cut it all out and make a new dress up for tomorrow afternoon. But then again, I might not be able to do it if I don't have time. Anyway, until next week, happy sewing. Bye bye.